once a kid in class, this was ages ago, a kid in class came up and said something that a lot of you ask me, I can't get this thing to work because I'm not concentrating. The kids came up and said, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm the one who went like this. I said, what? I said, you sure I didn't tell you the truth? I said, you want a whole bunch of peas? This is ages ago, right? And the kid goes like this, you know, what are you, nuts? Can I have a hole puncher, please? I mean, a whole bunch of peas, right? So I already knew, like, almost 3 years ago. I had my hearing tested. Kanowski's already, like, these uncontrollable laughter. 3 years ago, I went and had my hearing tested, and they told me that if I was a child, they would have prescribed hearing aids because the kid is learning the vocabulary, you know, and they wouldn't do well in school if they weren't hearing. So I already knew that I had a problem. And last year, I was out because of my operations for quite about 3 months. And I was really I was not well. But on top of that, I kept going, wow, 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 and kids had a ball laughing, you know, wow, wow, wow. Or I would misunderstand something, you know, and I would say something funny. So finally this summer, I'm not going wow, wow, wow anymore. Okay? But so if you're cleaning and tapping on the desk, it's all like, in my head, it's like an earthquake, okay? So, yeah, like that. Yeah. All right, now let me do this right. Attendance. Attendance. Period 5.
Burns, I got that story video.
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Yes, what?
Crap.
When a peer speaks, we listen. Yes, you are. Now, but we're not going to talk about it because the first thing we're going to do, I have a whole setup, okay? I have a whole thing figured out, okay? Now, you may recall that somewhere in our notes, and I hope you have your notebook open, because I'm going to deal with some of the words here, like power and authority. We're going to go over again, because I'm going to want you to make the funny drawings, because you're going to follow my lead. Start ahead, because people get lost, okay? So I'm going to hand out some things first, which should take less than 10 minutes. Why? Well, just be ready. We're not going to get to that right away. Just be ready. Have your vocab number 3 or whatever, you know, piece of notebook paper dated 10/8. What is it, Darren? What is it? I have no idea, actually. It's lost, and you know what? I don't feel like taking the time right now to find it. And I thought the copy machine would automatically make home. It turns out it doesn't. No, it doesn't. All right, that's just the way it is. Let's deal with it. Now, notice the front side says Chinese pictographs. What you're being asked to do here on the front, just do it, you know, don't copy, just do it. Is you look at the picture, it's a little fuzzy. Pictographs are symbols that stand for what again? In the Egyptian hieroglyphs, the Mesopotamian cuneiform, they stand Chinese, they stand for ideas. They're different from the letters of an alphabet, which stand for what, Aaron? Alphabet stands for, the symbols stand for sound, okay? So here's a simple sheet about Chinese pictographs. You look at the picture, and you just match the corresponding pictograph with the English equivalent. Now on the back, this is where you're going to think, what are you, nuts, Marcus? We got a story here, it's mostly in English, but it's got some Chinese characters in there. Now one of them got cut off at the margins. So for you perfectionists, it's over there, in full. It says Lahu, which means type, okay? But anyway, we can deal with that later. So what I want you to do, this shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. You do this simple thing, you match, okay? The pictograph with the English word that it corresponds with, the idea of, yeah? And then you've got this story, and just, you know how in a language class, like you sometimes have a lesson where in the book there's a paragraph and they're introducing new vocabulary and down below it defines the words? Yeah, sometimes. That's what you got here. We know you don't know Chinese. So we have the Chinese pictographs with the English translation. I want you to just write in pencil or whatever, I don't care what, I'm not collecting it, the translation, okay? And it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Or, right. Here, give the next, what? Yes, I support things like that, even though I'm running out of money. Well, the extras will just come back to me. I should get a second job. I can barely move around.
Hey.
I'm not mobile enough. And I also I go to physical therapy and I have to do exercise. Now, thank you. There's a couple more. You guys. I'm sorry.